PM Modi makes his podcast debut, sparking major conversations while Delhi's politics heats up with claims over Purvanchali voters. Plus, we dive into the chaos behind Tirupati's token system. Here are the major stories of the day in today's news wrap. Hi, I'm Flora Swai and you're watching the Indian Express. Let's get started. Prime Minister Narendra Modi appeared as a guest on Zerodha co-founder Nikhil Kamath's podcast series called People By WTF, speaking about his childhood, India's technological advancements, politics and its parallels with entrepreneurship, among several topics covered in the 2-hour-long episode. This is what the PM said. This is my first podcast. This world is completely new to me, he said at the beginning of the conversation with the young billionaire. Kamath, in a subsequent question on politics, asked the PM what his advice was for those who think politics is a dirty game. On being asked about his old speeches when he was the Gujarat Chief Minister, PM Modi responded, "I said something in an insensitive way. Mistakes happen. I am human, not God." Watch this excerpt from the podcast.
में ऐसी कोई चीजें थी which made you like that? मतलब जैसे आप कह रहे थे कि पॉलिटिशियन जब आप बनना चाहते हैं तो इट्स नॉट अबाउट यू, यू आर सेकेंडरी. जो लोग हैं जिनके लिए आप पॉलिटिशियन हैं वो पहला बन जाते हैं. आपके चाइल्डहुड में ऐसी कोई चीज थी जिसकी वजह से वो?
ऐसा है कि मेरा जीवन मैंने नहीं बनाया है, हालात ने बनाया है. मैं बचपन से जो जिंदगी गुजार करके आया हूं, मैं उसकी गहराई में जाना नहीं चाहता हूं कि अलग मेरा बचपन बीता है. लेकिन वो जिंदगी बहुत कुछ सिखाती है जी. और शायद वही मेरा एक प्रकार से सबसे बड़ी यूनिवर्सिटी थी. मुसीबत यूनिवर्सिटी है मेरे लिए, जो मुझे सिखाती है. और हो सकता है कि मैंने मुसीबत को मोहब्बत करना सीख लिया है, जिसने मुझे बहुत कुछ सिखाया है. मैं उस राज्य से आता हूं जहां मैंने माताओं बहनों को सर पे घड़ा लेकर के 2-2, 3-3 किलोमीटर पानी के लिए जाते देखा है. तब मेरा मन करता है कि आजादी के 75 साल के बाद क्या मैं पानी पहुंचा सकता हूं? तो उस संवेदनाओं में से पैदा हुई मेरी ये एक्टिविटी है. योजनाएं होगी, पहले भी होगी. मैं योजनाओं को क्लेम नहीं करता हूं. सपने पहले भी लोगों ने देखे होंगे, लेकिन मैं उन सपनों के लिए खप जाता हूं. सपने किसी के भी क्यों ना हो, लेकिन वो सपना सही है तो मेरा काम है मैं खप जाऊं, ताकि कुछ निकले देश के लिए. जब मुख्यमंत्री बना तो मेरा एक भाषण था और सहज रूप से मैंने कहा था कि मैं मेहनत करने में कोई कमी नहीं रखूंगा. दूसरा, मैं मेरे लिए कुछ नहीं करूंगा. और तीसरा, मनुष्य हूं, गलती हो सकती है, बद इरादे से गलत नहीं करूंगा.
Moving ahead, the Supreme Court on Friday directed a status quo regarding a private well near the entrance of Shahi Jama Masjid in Sambhal, barring any action without its prior approval. A bench led by Chief Justice Sanjeev Khanna and Justice Sanjay Kumar issued a notice to the concerned parties and instructed authorities to submit a status report within 2 weeks. Here are the full details on this issue. A centuries-old well near the iconic Shahi Jama Masjid in Sambhal has sparked a legal and communal storm. What's at stake and why has the Supreme Court stepped in? Let's break it down. The Supreme Court has stepped in to address a heated dispute over a private well located near the entrance of the Shahi Jama Masjid in Sambhal. The court has ordered a status quo directing that no actions be taken without its permission. Here's what you need to know regarding this. A bench led by Chief Justice Sanjeev Khanna and Justice Sanjay Kumar has issued a notice to authorities demanding a detailed status report within 2 weeks. The intervention follows a petition filed by the Shahi Jama Masjid Management Committee. They challenged a 19th of November order by the Sambhal Senior Division Civil Judge, which allowed the appointment of an advocate commissioner to survey the mosque. The committee claims that the survey incited violence leading to loss of life. Senior advocate Hussein Ahmadi, representing the mosque, highlighted the historical importance of the well, saying it has been used since time immemorial. He also raised concerns about notices referring to the site as Hari Mandir and plans for religious activities there. While asking for authorities to maintain peace and harmony, Chief Justice Khanna assured no such activities will be permitted. On the other hand, Advocate Vishnu Shankar Jain, representing the Hindu side, argued that the well is outside the mosque's premises and has historically been used for worship. The mosque committee countered, claiming the well lies partially within the mosque area, citing Google Maps as evidence. The issue escalated on the 24th of November last year when the violence broke out near the mosque, resulting in 4 deaths. This occurred after a second survey team visited the site. The Supreme Court later paused the trial court's proceedings, stressing the need to preserve peace. In other news, the internet is buzzing with outrage over recent remarks by L&T Chairman SN Subrahmanyan, reigniting a nationwide conversation on work-life balance and mental health. During a discussion with employees, Subrahmanyan expressed regret about not being able to make them work on Sundays. However, it was his now viral comment, "How long can you stare at your wife or husband? Come on, get to the office and start working," that truly sparked the backlash. Social media users were quick to condemn the statement, labeling it as both misogynistic and dismissive of the importance of mental health. Here's our full report on this.
I regret I'm not able to make you work on Sundays, to be honest. If I can make you work on Sundays, I'll be more happier, because I work on Sundays also. What do you do sitting at home? How long can you stare at your wife? How long can the wife stare at your husband? Come on, get to the office and start working.
The internet is ablaze with reactions to recent comments by L&T, that is L&T Chairman SN Subrahmanyan, and it's sparked a nationwide debate about work-life balance and mental health. Subrahmanyan's controversial remarks came during a talk with employees where he regretted not being able to make them work on Sundays. But the real shocker, his now viral quip, which stated, "How long can you stare at your wife or husband? Come on, get to office and start working." Meanwhile, the social media erupted with netizens slamming the comment as misogynistic and dismissive of mental health. In this context, Bollywood star Deepika Padukone was quick to react, sharing her outrage on Instagram. She labeled the statement shocking and amplified the hashtag mental health matters. And when L&T issued a clarification, she wasn't buying it and responded by saying, "And they just made it worse." Former badminton champion Jwala Gutta didn't hold back either, calling the remarks misogynistic and disappointing. She highlighted a troubling reality, and I quote, "It's sad that educated people in powerful positions fail to take mental health seriously." Even business leaders joined the chorus of criticism. Harsh Goenka, known for his sharp wit, ridiculed the idea of extended work weeks, suggesting Sunday to be renamed as Sunduri. He emphasized that work-life balance isn't a luxury, it's actually a necessity. On the other hand, faced with mounting backlash, L&T defended its chairman, citing the need for extraordinary effort to drive India's growth in India's decade. But for many, this explanation rang completely hollow. This controversy comes on the heels of a similar debate last year when Infosys co-founder Narayan Murthy advocated for a 70-hour work week, echoing sentiments of post-war recovery models in Japan and Germany. And let's not forget Elon Musk, who famously champions 80 to 100-hour work weeks. The question remains, are we romanticizing overwork at the expense of well-being? In news from the national capital, tensions escalated on Friday as BJP workers staged a massive protest near Aam Aadmi Party convener Arvind Kejriwal's residence, accusing him of disrespecting the Purvanchali community. The demonstration stemmed from Kejriwal's recent allegations of large-scale voter fraud involving residents from Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. The protest turned chaotic, with BJP workers breaking barricades and clashing with the police, prompting the use of water cannons to control the crowd. Amid the controversy, Kejriwal criticized the centre for deteriorating law and order situation in the capital. He remarked, and I quote, "BJP has made Delhi the crime capital of India. Robberies, chain snatchings and gang wars have made it unsafe for women to step out of their homes." In response to the rising concerns over safety, Kejriwal announced plans to empower Resident Welfare Association, that's the RWAs, by providing funds to hire security guards. He assured that detailed guidelines would soon be released, specifying the allocation for each RWA.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी को और इनकी केंद्र सरकार को दिल्ली के लोगों से कोई लेना देना नहीं है। ये लोग तो दिल्ली वालों से नफरत करते हैं और इसी नफरत का नतीजा है कि आज 25-27 साल से भारतीय जनता पार्टी दिल्ली की सत्ता में नहीं आ पाई है। लेकिन हमें तो लेना देना है। दिल्ली के लोग तो हमारे हैं। दिल्ली के 2 करोड़ लोग हमारा परिवार हैं। अगर दिल्ली में किसी को तकलीफ होती है तो केजरीवाल के दिल में दर्द होता है। मुझे तकलीफ होती है, तो हम चुप नहीं बैठ सकते। तो मैंने जगह जगह लोगों को यह भरोसा दिलाया है कि आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार बनेगी तो जितनी आरडब्ल्यूएज हैं उनको अपने अपने इलाके में सिक्योरिटी गार्ड अपॉइंट करने के लिए दिल्ली सरकार की तरफ से उचित राशि दी जाएगी। इसके कुछ मापदंड बना लेंगे कि किस आरडब्ल्यूए को कितने सिक्योरिटी गार्ड का पैसा देना है, कितना पैसा देना है, एरिया के हिसाब से होगा या नंबर ऑफ फैमिलीज के हिसाब से होगा, उसका एक मापदंड बना लेंगे। लेकिन सरकार बनने के बाद लोगों को अपने अपने इलाके के अंदर सिक्योरिटी गार्ड्स, प्राइवेट सिक्योरिटी गार्ड्स अपॉइंट करने के लिए, ताकि वो सिक्योरिटी गार्ड्स वहाँ पे लोगों को सुरक्षा प्रदान कर सकें। बेसिक सुरक्षा, वैसे तो पुलिस को कोई रिप्लेस नहीं कर सकता और ना ही हमारा मकसद है पुलिस को रिप्लेस करने का, लेकिन अपने अपने इलाके के अंदर बेसिक सुरक्षा के लिए, ताकि कोई भी चोरी करके भागे तो उसको पकड़ा जा सके, कोई भी अनऑथराइज्ड लोग अंदर ना आ सकें। इन सब चीज़ों पे कंट्रोल करने के लिए लोगों को, जैसे हमने पूरी दिल्ली में सीसीटीवी कैमरे लगवाए, अब कोई भी अपराध होता है तो उस सीसीटीवी कैमरे से उस अपराध को कंट्रोल करना आसान हो जाता है, उस अपराधी को पकड़ना आसान हो जाता है। ऐसे ही हम सिक्योरिटी गार्ड आरडब्ल्यूएस के जरिए उनको पैसा देके सिक्योरिटी गार्ड मुहैया कराएंगे। ये भी हमारी एक गारंटी है इस चुनाव के अंदर।
In news from the south, headlines that has been dominating the country, a routine temple visit turned tragic as a stampede near Tirupati's Vishnu Nivasam temple on Wednesday claimed multiple lives. The incident unfolded when an overcrowded crowd surged towards the ticketing counter to collect tokens, leading to chaos. Shocking visuals of the incident have since gone viral on social media. Reacting to the tragedy, Andhra Pradesh government announced 25 lakh rupees ex gratia for the families of the victims. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also expressed grief over the lives lost and assured that the state government is aiding the affected families. But how did an everyday event spiral into a nightmare? What triggered thousands to rush towards the gates, causing the fatal stampede? And why did the authorities fail to anticipate the ensuing chaos? Dive into the details as we break down how the token system at Tirupati temple operates. Here's an Express report.
How did a ticket distribution event spiral into tragedy? What caused thousands of people to rush towards the gates, resulting in a stampede? And why weren't authorities prepared for the chaos that followed? On Wednesday night, a seemingly small act, evacuating an elderly woman, triggered a catastrophic chain of events. A senior police officer familiar with the incident described the scene, saying that between 2,000 and 4,000 people were inside the park at the time. The crowd had been locked inside the park with plans to release them in a controlled manner once token distribution began at a nearby school. A barricaded path had been set up leading from the main gate of the park to the school. While one officer claimed a dozen police personnel were stationed at the gate, another official said there were only 6 officers present when the stampede occurred. At 8:20 p.m., police responded to a call for medical help. An elderly woman inside the park was reportedly having breathing difficulties. She was feeling suffocated. The officer sent 2 constables inside to verify. Once they confirmed, he ordered the woman's evacuation. But when the gate was opened to evacuate her, something unexpected happened. The huge crowd inside mistook the gate opening as the start of token distribution. According to the police FIR accessed by the Indian Express, the incident occurred around 8:20 p.m. The FIR said, quote-unquote, police personnel noticed an elderly woman experiencing breathing difficulties. They began escorting her out through the gate. However, during this time, rumors spread among the devotees that token distribution had started. Believing they needed to rush to secure tokens on the first day, the devotees surged towards the gates, pushing them open and rushing out in large numbers. This led to a loss of control, and many devotees fell to the ground during the commotion. Despite the police's efforts to manage the situation, the massive crowd could not be controlled. Around 40 people sustained injuries and all were transported to the hospital via ambulances. Among them, 5 individuals were declared dead by doctors. Just over an hour earlier, another stampede occurred at Vishnu Nivasam in Tirupati, killing a 50-year-old woman. This first fatality at a different token distribution center occurred at around 7:30 p.m. Both incidents caused by flawed crowd management have drawn sharp criticism. Eyewitnesses described scenes of complete chaos. People were screaming and falling as the gates gave way. The police were shouting at the crowd to stop, but there were not enough personnel to manage the situation once the stampede began. There were panicked announcements on the mic afterwards for families that found their loved ones missing. While the FIR states that the stampede was accidental due to sudden panic and confusion among the devotees, the tragedy was also about serious lapses in planning. This year, the Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanams introduced additional token distribution centers to handle the expected crowds. However, inadequate crowd control measures and misinformation appear to have worsened the situation.
That's all for today, but we'll leave you with visuals from Bikaner in Rajasthan, where the 3-day International Camel Festival has kicked off with a grand inauguration at the historic Lakshminath Temple.